What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome everybody to the chat. It's your host, Get Fit with KB. What's going on, y'all? Hope y'all can hear me good. Let me turn my phone off. All right. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Hope everybody's doing good today. I want to make a quick video. I say it's going to be quick and then it ends up being like 20 minutes. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. If you have any questions about a specific fast food restaurant, put it in the chat too. Okay? I'll write that in here now. All right. So, any questions about a specific fast food restaurant, y'all leave them in the chat, and I'll try and answer them to the best of my abilities. But I'll go over a couple things today because this question has it's come up a lot, and it actually came up to me in person twice in the past 2 days. So I said, let me go and make a video about this. All right, how to eat when you're out. So pretty much like we go out. You might want to go to a restaurant. You might want to be out and about. You might want to grab something. You're not really sure what to get. If you're traveling, you might not be sure what to eat because you're used to eating a certain thing. I'm gonna cover all of that, but I gotta plant the seeds in your head first, like I normally do, and then we'll rotate back around to that to saying, okay, this is how you eat. Because what I'm gonna try to do is really answer the question so that when you go to the restaurant, you know how to choose versus going to the place and saying, oh, what do I get? Because normally you can find something, you know what I mean? Like normally you can find something that's okay. And if you get, like, if you know a certain area where, if you stop at, if you got a route maybe, or if you go to certain places, like you'll know where you can go to, where you shouldn't go to. And then as you start getting familiar with what to eat and what's good for you and what's bad for you, you'll get a chance to really know what to do while you're out and about. And then you'll know what to get when you at other restaurants, or if you're out of town, or if you're just on the road. So all right, let's go through it. So aside from the obvious bad stuff, like, if you go somewhere and that thing looks crazy, you know what I mean? Like if they got all types of meats and cheeses and all types of different, things on it to dress it up, it was crazy on me. Like, so obvious stuff, let's not act like we don't know better. I mean, everybody who's here pretty much tries to get their body better anyway. So we know what you shouldn't probably be eating. And I've been over that in numerous videos. But keep this in mind. When you go out to places, yeah, you can have a food allergy and it could be specifically bad for you, but a lot of times the food really isn't all that bad. It's the way they sauce it up. So the sauces are what put you over the edge. Like if you go through, the menus and start looking at, what it is, a lot of times it's just chicken and you can get it grilled or you can get something, fried. Even if you get it fried or breaded, like that's not going to kill you. You know what I mean? Like that little bit of carb that's on there, that's not gonna kill you. Like you're gonna burn that off anyway, especially if you work out. But when you start putting like extra sauces, double cheese on it, you know what I mean? Let me get extra this and extra that, and you putting teriyaki on it, and you going hard with all these things. The yum sauce. I see you talking about hibachi in there. You start putting that yum sauce on there. Now you stepping in the bucket. You see what I'm saying? Because what's happening is the food really wasn't that bad until flavor is the thing that really gets you. So keep that in mind. The more you dress it up, the more you're asking for things that you don't need in your body. For one, you're putting in a lot of oils, and oils are hard to burn off. And remember, like when we're talking about calories and such, right? I think in a tablespoon of vegetable oil, you have 240 calories, if I'm not mistaken. So you figure, or an olive oil, excuse me, like a tablespoon of olive oil is like 240 calories. And so your calories are already at 240 off that one, tablespoon, and that's gonna be in your sauce. And so by the time you start breaking down what else you put in there, and I don't even know what else, however many calories in the thing, the way they make it, but you might have 1,000-calorie meal right there. You know what I mean? Like, or 900 calories right there on your plate and not even realize it because you fix it up with so many different things and seasonings and sauces and dressings and all this other stuff. You might get a salad, and by the time you finish with the salad, we're putting all your stuff in there, it's not even a salad anymore. You know what I mean? Like now you got a sauce salad. So keep that in mind. Like all of that sodium that goes into those seasonings to, for that flavor, all of that stuff. If you can look at a menu and think about it in your mind right now, like to eat. If you know you're going there and you're adding all this extra stuff, it's probably bad for you. You know what I mean? And so those things are what you want to keep in mind. Try to stay away from the sauces. And if you can get it as clean as possible, like, always, if you're going to eat out, try to get a vegetable with your meal. And a lot of times they'll offer a vegetable. Like a lot of times they'll offer mixed veggies, or if you want a side of carrots, or if you want a side or whatever, but nobody opts for those things. You know what I'm saying? But if you can try to get vegetables with your fast food or wherever you're going to and incorporate that with your meal too, that'd be grand. If you get a chance to find a place where they have like a gluten-free option or something like that, that'd be good too. So you can just change out small things amongst that same meal. So just try to opt for the better versions. And of course, if you can, stay away from dairies. Like dairies are never going to be good for anybody. I don't know who came up with that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, it's a cow's milk. And I'm not no baby cow, so I'm not going to drink no cow's milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whatever that does, like I know you can eat the food and stuff. Like y'all want to eat beef and everything. Like I get that, that already takes a long time to digest. You feel me? Like how, if the animal only eats grass and you eating the animal, you know what I mean? Like something's off, but keep that in mind. You need certain things from out of those animals. Like you need the iron, you need the, whatever other vitamins come from those things. But at the same time, like you don't need to overdo it. Like if you can eat more vegetables, because a lot of y'all don't eat vegetables. All right. The third thing, so the first thing was with the sauces, try to cut back on the sauces. The second thing was always choose the healthier option and try to get vegetables with your meal if you can. Like whatever vegetables they have, that'll at least offset you from getting full, whatever that, meal thing was and the main dish, and then having the side, maybe you don't even want the side, or maybe you choose a worse side. You know what I mean? So if you're going to do that, at least balance it off and say, okay, I'll pick a good side, a healthier side. I'll get the fruit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then, but your main plate is something crazy. So, and just kind of cut back on the sauces. Most of the time you can eat whatever you want to. Now, here's the other thing that I don't recommend. I'm not a big fan of dairy when you're getting your stuff. So cheeses and stuff, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm also not a big fan of wheat or breads and stuff, because that's all carby. And see, carbs turn to sugars and sugars turn to fats. And so what happens is you might have a sandwich or something, or a big hoagie or whatever you're having, and it's mostly bread, and you don't work out that much, or maybe you're not working out that day or whatever, like that sandwich is just going to your stomach because you're not really using it. You're not utilizing that food as fuel to turn it into energy. Unless you have to eat a sandwich, like a big sandwich like that, and then you go into the gym right after, I get it. Or if you're going to eat it right after the gym, okay, cool, fair. But if you just having them because you're out and about, let's not. You know what I mean? Like save those sandwiches and those big meals for the days that you're going to work out, versus having them on days where you're not really doing anything. And if you work out that day, don't do abs and then be like, all right, I'm gonna go get me a big old X, Y, and Z. Like that's crazy. Like you got to do a big muscle and then you can eat big like that afterwards. Okay? The third thing I want to say is try not to get sodas or anything too sugary unless it's house made. Okay, so I know you might say, okay, let me get this with the whatever drink at the fountain drink. The fountain drink thing, if you can stay away from it, stay away from it. You can opt for a water, of course, it's cool, but you're gonna want to have a juice or something like that, right? So if you can, I've been to some hood spots before, and I know sometimes inside of there they may not even clean like the sweet tea machine on the inside or something like that, or they might just come over there and start dumping in more sweet tea or dumping in more lemonade. So if you go into like a chicken wing spot, like catfish, like a fish and wing spot, like okay, get the house stuff, but make sure that it's a clean place. But otherwise, try and get yourself a bottled water or have yourself something to drink anyway. You know what I mean? And so that'll save you a lot. But you don't have to get the fountain drinks. And I don't know if a lot of you have worked in restaurants and stuff like that before, but a lot of those fountain drinks, it's sludge, or whatever that syrup is that they put in the machine and then they mix it with water. So, I mean, if you're going to drink syrup anyway, you might as well drink, sugar that somebody made and poured a real piece of, real sugar into it. At least that sugar where it came from. It didn't have any other mixed ingredients and wasn't packaged 2 or 3 times once it was broken down. I'll take the regular sugar stuff with lemons and water, from their lemonade machine versus taking whatever the name of the name brand stuff is. So keep that in mind too. Okay. Now I said about the gluten-free thing, I said about the dairy thing, and I talked about salt again. So remember, when you're having something that has too much salt in it, so if you're opting for something and it's gonna be salty, for every, I think it's like every one salt molecule, it holds on to 4 water molecules. And so remember that you might hold extra water or have this bloat on you if you're, having something that's too salty. So if you're used to having salty foods in your system, maybe stay away from that when you go out and about. And don't forget, if y'all got questions about specific places, let me know, because I've been everywhere. I used to eat stuff, so it's not just now. And now the fifth thing is limit your fast food consumption or your eating out consumption to 3 times a week max, and that's with lunches and dinner included, right? So let's say Monday you eat out for lunch, don't eat out for dinner. Tuesday you eat at the house, lunch and dinner. Wednesday you eat out for you don't eat out for lunch, eat home for lunch, but you eat out for dinner this time. So now that's 2 times you ate out, and then maybe you wait for like another Saturday and then y'all eat out sometime again. But you don't need to be eating out 2-3 times a day, and y'all don't need to be out. Y'all don't need to eat out, back to back like that during the week either. Like that's crazy. You eating out, 4 or 5 times a week. That's wild. Now I get it if you're on the road and you got, a job where you drive trucks or whatever like that. But even then, like y'all need to be packing your food. Like pack your lunch and stop somewhere. I worked on the road too, so I get it. Like pack your lunch. Try to do something where you can make your food, and stop at a gas station. And maybe if you had something that you need to heat it up in the microwave or something like that. Of course, I'm not a big fan of reheating your food in the microwave. If you can opt for like an air fryer or something like that, that's cool too. But you got to have a microwave, so be it. Like I had to use my microwave earlier, to heat up my salmon. So, it is what it is. You got to use your microwave, stop at a gas station, cook your food, eat it while you want to go, and then get back to work. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind too. Like you can always bring your stuff with you. And then the last thing I want to say is you can always eat your leftovers from dinner from the night before for lunch. I know a lot of y'all are not into leftovers and stuff like that, but you can eat your leftovers, like your leftover dinner, have that for lunch the next day. And in that way, you've knocked out the thought process of, oh, what am I going to eat today? Because a lot of times what happens is we'll get something that's on the go because we don't know what to get. It's like, oh, I was out. I just had to stop and get something. And so because you didn't plan properly, now you start making bad decisions. You see what I'm saying? So if you at least know that, like you can either plan for what you're going to eat that day and have your lunch and dinner prepared in your head. I'm going to eat this for lunch. I'm going to eat this with my snack, eat this for dinner or whatever. Or my breakfast is going to be this. And then make sure that, if you go out, you can account for if I go out and I go this way, I'll get this because this because this is the most healthy thing that I can get at this time or whatever. So keep that stuff in mind because you don't want to just make bad decisions when you're on the go. And a lot of times when you're hungry and you're out, you're going to make a bad decision because you're just hungry and whatever, anything sounds good. Whatever you're craving at that moment is going to be what you want. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. All right. So questions. Let's see. The Life of Chapo, you say you get hibachi. Hibachi is a great thing to get. I'm a big fan of hibachi. I'm a big fan of like going to like a wing spot, like getting wings or getting like fried fish. Like, I'm a fan of that. I know it's greasy. I know it is, but at the same time, it's like, what are you gonna do? If you're gonna get something, you might as well get something that tastes good. And you don't have to get, you don't have to fix it up with all the dressings and stuff. If I go to Chick-fil-A, most of the time when I go there, I just get fries now. I'll get 2 large fries and maybe eliminate if I'm feeling, froggy that day. But most of the time I just get 2 large fries. But if you want to get things, they got enough items on the menu for y'all to choose from at Chick-fil-A. They got enough, I don't know what the big things are, but normally when you go somewhere, you can find stuff. You're just not fixing it up with getting the biggest, gaudiest version of whatever that they offer at that restaurant. You'll be good. Sushi is cool to have too. If y'all like sushi, I eat a lot of sushi when I'm out. I eat, if I can find fish at a restaurant, I'll try to eat fish at that restaurant. If y'all just like having chicken, you can get that. Like Hawaiian places, Indian restaurants got good stuff. Try to have a variety. You know what I mean? Depending on where you live at, try to find other cultures, restaurants that are out versus having just what you're familiar with that's on the go. Because other cultures might spend more time fixing that meal up too, so keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something in today's video. And if you have any questions, please leave them in my comments. Any video topics, please leave them and keep them coming because this is definitely helpful. And I hope anybody watching this on the playback, I hope these things and these tactics are helpful for you if you're going out and you want to roll or if you're traveling. Hope this kind of, brought some things into perspective for you on how to choose your next fast food meal. Anyway, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll see you guys next Friday, 6:45. Thanks for watching.